is I intend to spend my final night on Earth speaking to a room full of strangers about nothing in particular. Because that is apparently what I intend to do. And I hope that's okay with you. And certainly some or one of you must be asking yourself, why go out chattering at all? Why not a dignified silence? Why not lean back in quiet and contemplation and think about all the things that have brought me to this past, this passing, this passage, this dark night of the so why not sit back in the mahogany arms of a sturdy rocker near the crack of a good fire with the finest tobacco and brandy the shelves of hell have to offer? Lean back in dignity and contemplation. Why not shut up? I have my reasons. Never let it be said that Dr. John Faustus, yes, that Dr. Faustus, please don't get out, could be without his reasons. I am a man of reason. The first reason being, I suppose, that the course of humor is necessary for quiet and contemplation is simply not gathered in me tonight. Tonight, I am an irritated person. Tonight, I am an annoyed person. And yes, I have reasons, good reasons, for being irritating and irritated and annoyed, which is more than most people can say. Most people can give you no reason whatsoever for their unattractive moods. But I have my reasons, and now, tonight, I would like to share them with you. The main reason, I guess, is that when I woke up this morning, I found my servant of 24 years sitting on the foot of my bed, peeling a hard-boiled egg and reading, as he does every morning, my personal diary. Now, certainly the morning was beautiful enough with honey sunlight streaming through the windows and the song of the spring peepers rising from the pond below, but still, when I saw him sitting there, as he has every morning for the last 74 years, leaving bits of yolk and eggshells all over my bed, a disgusting mess, annoying, yes, I can say so. And I said to him, "This is disgusting! This is a disgusting mess!" And you would think that today, of all days, you might have some consideration. There is nothing in here for you. There is nothing in here for you. For anybody. And why? Why is there nothing in the personal private journal of Dr. John Faustus of consuming or even passing interest to this poke nose? Well, I'll show you why. See, hatch marks, or as some might have it, tick marks, or even hash marks. I prefer hatch marks. Those marks made since time immemorial by prisoners on the walls of their cells to count down the days. They say that the original prisoner, the fallen one, has covered the crags and cliffs of his fiery orb, counting down his eternity. They even say that Sisyphus has covered his rock with hatch marks, using mud that he finds at the bottom of his hill, such that at this point the rock has built up a tremendous crust and probably outweighs the rock that it's covering it, so that today what he is pushing is not so much a rock, but a memory, a record of the number of times he has pushed that rock. I don't know. It's what they say. It's not important. What is important is to communicate that these hatch marks, my hatch marks, lie outside of this long tradition in that they count nothing. They count for nothing. They're meaningless. And in case somebody hasn't figured it out yet, they're not some kind of secret code. There is nothing that anybody should take an interest in reading. 64 years. A life's work. I barely remember that first morning. So, the first morning, I woke up in my bed to find the Prince of Devils reading my first entry, my only true entry in my actual diary, and of course, I seized it from him immediately and destroyed the pages right away, either by fire or by swallowing. Swallowing. That's right. It was definitely swallowing, because I remember thinking even then that, I just could do this every morning. Eat a piece of my diary. No. But I wanted to keep a diary. I am Dr. John Faust, and I am just that kind of a person. But how to protect my personal private thoughts from this snoop? This snoop with magical powers. I considered many possibilities. I thought about a diary of apparent truths that was really a diary of lies, or a diary of obvious lies that was really a diary of hidden truth, or a diary that alternated between half-truths and white lies, or a diary of half-truths alternating with white lies based on some sort of coded algebraic formula to determine later, or a diary of scribblings, doodlings, ink splatterings, coded scribblings, mindless doodlings, lying ink splatterings, but none of these seem to be the way to go, and I will tell you why. I happen to be, if you don't know it already, a very powerful, magical person in my own right. Oh yes, everything I do gets a lot of attention. Always has. They say that the near future can be read by contemplating my nail clippings, and that the more distant future can be divined by studying my... Yeah, well, you don't want to know that. They say that leaders of great nations make decisions affecting the lives of millions based on how I part my hair. Or that they should. They don't, but they should. They say that local seers would be well advised to paw through my garbage every night, because everything I touch is imbued with a great deal of cosmic resonance. You're welcome. And my servant is a very sensitive fellow, too. He can see right through, he can see through anything. He is intimate with chaos. Any kind of chaos and code. So I realized that first morning that I could cover my pages with splatterings and doodlings and blots, and it would still be as if I had torn open the innermost portions of my soul! There's that word again! my diary that I felt rising up in me, an annoyance that produced an authority, a magisterialness such as I have not known in years. I command you! I command you, by the terms of our meaningless contract, to return to me my diary and to tell me why it is you study my diary and what it is you hope to get out of my meaningless diary. And he just stared at me with that blank look that only the Prince of Devils can give. A blankness sliding beyond indifference and straight into the abyss. So irritating. And I will confess that once when I was irritated, I would retreat into a holy, sullen silence now. No, I will tell you that no silence, holy or dignified, will do when you are defending a meaningless thing. No. When you are defending a meaningless thing, you need to make an extra effort. I filled my lungs with an ocean roar of complaint. My tongue became a searing, slashing whip. My bodies, all my cells of my bodies radiated magic such as the walls of the house shook and timbers from the roof fell to the bedroom in smoke and ash. I command you to return my diary. Give me my diary. Give me. And he just looked at me again. This time setting that abyss stare in a face like an infinitely shallow well. I need to sit down. People of the future, do not ask yourself why the great Dr. Faust, noted scholar, tireless investigator, mighty magician, left behind an accounting of his life that records no more than that his pen touched its pages. Pages not much more valuable than a heap of bug-smeared leaves. Blame, rather, Prince of Darkness, who, I'm pretty sure, exists only to deprive me of my solitude. The thought of time for quiet contemplation, certainly no time. Really did mean fantastic, possibly tragic life. You might have learned so much. It has been 84 years since the fingers of my hands formed a letter. I don't think I even remember anymore how to form an A, that stately sentinel of the alphabet, or even a far simpler X or I, as similar as the latter is to hatch mark. The difference, of course, being that my hand must know that the one is an I, meaning I. The other is the far less meaningful thing. I believe that letters evolve the shapes that they have to give pleasure to the hand that writes them, not to the eye that reads them. My hand, my whole arm misses those blobby, contented O's, those sinuous S's, the thrusting peaks of M. But I am not giving this one the satisfaction. You have my signature in blood. You don't need my thoughts in ink. Hell will not know Faustus. Hell will not know Faustus. Faustus will not know hell. I am always in the now. You know? Now. In a few minutes, I am going to walk down that staircase, and now there's a door over there somewhere, and walk out that door. Detonation or salvation, I don't know. Not even an educated guess. I really should be edited one of those fantastic picture books for children as the animal who has no picture of its future in its brain. I mean, you people of the future, you all have pictures of your own futures in your own brains, don't you? Don't you? I mean, especially in this century with your weathermen and science fiction and daily horoscopes, in a time when the mind hungers most for meaning. All you receive is future trivia. I don't even get that. The words of even the sentence that are coming out of my mouth right now are a mystery to me until I hear them land on the floor. I am always in the moment. Hell opens wide for people like me. Every morning, including this morning, every morning for 30 minutes, I wake up to find Prince Levels in my bed with his egg and his hooves and his abyss and my diary. And every morning, the first thing I think is, oh, that's right. I sold my soul to the devil. Stupid! Oh! I do remember something else about that this morning. It was like this morning, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I think it was. There he was, dancing to the song of the spring peepers in that honey sunlight, and making a terrible mess. Of course, that's what he does, tracking his muddy hoofprints all over the floor and up the wall and across the ceiling, out the window, across the pond, and all around the world. And then when finally he reached the four-fingered Caspian, one of his hoofprints left a muddy slash mark across it, and right there I saw my own death. this morning, after he waited out my screaming fit, finally deigned to speak. Oh yes, he does speak. Rare and special occasions, he said, well, if your personal private diary is so all-fire important, Johnny, maybe you shouldn't leave it laying around like you do. Maybe you should learn to take better care of your things, Johnny. It's just natural that people are going to want to take a peek when you leave it lying around. And I said, lying around? Lying around! Last night, I ordered you to lock this diary in an iron safe, encase that in a block of concrete, and seal all of that in a sphere of adamant, and plunge it to the bottom of the Black Sea. That's lying around. That's lying around. You have no sense of the casual placement. Now, I order you to bring me a stick, because I would beat the living crap out of you. And he said, oh, well, what sort of stick would that be, Johnny? A stick to beat the Prince of Devils? And I said, well, today is my last day on Earth after 94 years. I'm really old. I am feeling so old that I would like a cane. Yes! I am so old feeling I think that I could beat the living crap out of the Prince of Devils with a cane. You bring me a cane for Faustus, cut fresh from the forest, shiny and polished hot, thick, heavy, and swift, and he did. He brought me that cane. Oh, it was good. And I chased him around the room with it. This is just how it happened. Beating him about the shoulder blades until finally I raised a hump there. But I kept beating him until finally it split open and out spilled, oh my God, petunias and katydids and apple cores and fire ants and wheat stalks and all sorts of things, cow manure, a butt mouse and a beaver. And I said, what is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? All the world spills from your hump and you have this compulsion to stick your stuff in my diary? It is such a beautiful morning with honey sunlight and